Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and just a very busy day today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just constantly grinding, but I do have my distractions. Been checking out the Masters tournament as we've been working, have it all playing like throughout the garage. I'm a big golf nut, so that's just me. Hopefully you guys are doing well, but today I want to talk to you guys about your processes, and I think everyone, I kind of call it a leak. Everyone has one, whether it's your sourcing, maybe you just don't really have good options, all the way to, like in my case, I'm working on my photos. My photo area for easily the last year has been just horrible. And thankfully, there's a product called Photo Room that's kind of saved me from having really bad looking photos. But I've been working on really customizing my area where I'm able to really go from small items to larger items. If I wanted to do clothing items to shoes to full shirts, pants, and not run out of space. And really recently, decent lighting. So I've been buying like I'm buying a light for our right now. The lighting in here is not all that great, so we're just trying to buy stuff for the businesses, I guess you'd say, if you want to call YouTube a business part of it. But really, the lighting has been horrible, and I have taken the advice of Tommy Bernard. I don't know if he's here today or if he's going to be here, but he shared with me a lot of good information to kind of help me transform my lighting. So that'll be done here this weekend. I already got some of it, and it's already made a huge difference with my photos. So, and when you make transitions like that to improve your processes, it really kind of, at least for me, it motivates me. It makes me want to get out there and see how these items look with this new layout, and it makes me want to get out there and do the work. I think sometimes if you don't have the right equipment to make this job at least somewhat tolerable, it can get frustrating, and it's not nearly as fun as if you have, like I have my single monitor that works as two. I don't think I'd ever be able to do this business. I mean, I would do the business, but I wouldn't be nearly as productive if I didn't have that in place. I know a lot of you guys work just with a laptop, and while I think it's attainable, it's something that one can do. I just know that I wouldn't nearly enjoy it nearly as much. There's just so much you can do when you have a huge monitor that works, say as a dual monitor system. So lots of different processes that you can put into place, but I think it's up to each and every one of us to really figure out what is that one thing that you can do to, what's the one change that you can make that's going to help you be more productive and maybe even be more motivated. And it could be really a wide range of things that you can point to, but really I just want you to point to the one thing that you could do that would actually make a huge difference for your business. And I'd like to hear you guys tell me about that in the chat. If you're not with us, of course, comment down below. No matter how you watch, whether it's live or recorded, be sure to hit the like button. We do offer that sale. If you hit the like button in the next 24 hours, you're going to get a sale. Don't know how it works, but so many people report that during the show they're getting sales. So speaking of sales, how have your sales been? I can tell you that it's a tale of two accounts. If you guys watch the video I put out yesterday, it kind of speaks to it, where we have two different accounts, her account and my account. Now, you guys know I do the listing, but for me, I'm getting more and more stuff in on my main account. I'm finding stuff constantly, daily sourcing, and maybe once or twice a week picking up that stuff and bringing it home to list. I would rather spend the time I'm spending on my main account first, and then whatever time I have left, spend on those other items, because frankly put, I'm making so much more money on the main account with just the type of items. We have a high sell-through rate over there. And anything that's left over, then we'll list. And it's not like I'm not listing on that account, but I really think that if you're looking at the two accounts, the metrics, things that I could put on my main account and sell, those same items won't sell on the secondary account. I don't know why that is, but I'm not going to just start throwing everything on my main account, though. I'm just not going to do that. I have this firm belief that there's a tale of two accounts. You can put the same item on two different accounts with two different metrics, account health, and you're going to get two different results. And both accounts are top rated. I just really believe that your accounts, your store sell-through rate does play a role. It tells eBay this guy can handle this much, this many sales. This one really, we have our doubts that they can. And I think that's kind of how they're looking at my secondary account. So again, sales are good. We're about 12,000 in 11.2 in the last 31 days, a little under 3,000 for the last 7. So again, 500 a day is where our goal is. We're not quite there yet, but I'm confident that we can eventually get there. And a lot of that's on me. I could put a lot more time or get more efficient with things to give myself more time to get more things listed, I think. So let's see who is here with us today. We have Jerry Johnson. Thanks for being here. Got Flip It Good. We have Biscuit about Archie. I haven't heard from Archie in a long time. Hopefully you're doing good. He usually calls me and says, hey, man, what's going on? Haven't heard from him. Andy Reno says, what's up, FA family? I hope everything is great. With us, ain't a whole lot going on. We go and check out movies and stuff when we have time. We make time for that. But other than that, we're here working. Rhiannon says, hey, J&J and FA fam, happy Friday. Hope it's been a wonderful week.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Yes. Maya says, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. And we have Jovial Juggler says, hey, FA fam, happy grilled cheese sandwich day.
Sandwich.
Well, it's sandwich. Followed by Big Wind Day.
Big wind day?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's windy all across the United States.
Yeah, even at the Masters tournament.
Yeah, everybody's saying it's windy.
Maya says, sounds accurate. It's super windy here.
It's always windy here.
And we had a wind advisory for Vegas, too.
Yes, we do.
Paul Rose says, hi, John, Jenna, and FAE chat. Another week in paradise. Yeah. Perfect day out. I mean, okay, minus the wind. The weather's been like really, really great. So doing the yard sale thing tomorrow. Haven't really done any research on it. I know we're going to have a lot based on the weather. I know we're going to have a lot of yard sales. So looking forward to that tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are as well. Ping G says, hello, John, Jenna, and the chat. Thanks for being here, Ping. Richard Spanuski says, hey, J&J, eBay has once again failed to remove an item from my active to my sold lost, causing me to refund the buyer and get a ding on my account for their mistake. And the thing with that is eBay will never admit to that. They will put it on you. They've got to know it's a thing after all these years because it's something that happens constantly. How to prevent that? Really, you just got to at least every 6 months get out there and just check your inventory, see what you'll find that some of your items will be on the shelf or wherever you store it and not listed. And you'll have items that are listed but nowhere to be found. And you just got to navigate around eBay's issues. There's not much more you can do. Paul Rose says, reviews for Fallout sound positive, John. Not had a chance to check it out yet. We watched the first 2 episodes, and I think the toughest part of it all is explaining it to her, what's going on. What does this mean? What's that? That kind of thing. So it's if you can get past that, it's probably like a 7 out of 10 for me so far after the first 2 episodes. Let's see. Henri Squaw says, made it. Howdy, everyone. Thanks for being here, Henri Squaw. Joe Samard says, hi, I'm here even though I'm a year older than Monday. So you turned a year older?
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday. I'm assuming it's your birthday a few days ago. So happy birthday to you. Jovial Juggler says, wonder what ever happened to Picky Ricky. Anyone know?
No idea.
I mean,
sometimes they just either... I know Ricky was on and off eBay, so he was doing other things. So, I mean, we miss him. We sure Hope he's doing well.
I recall Picky Ricky was talking about kind of just giving it up. I mean, I think I remember him saying something to that. He was doing these, what do they call them? The
boot sales.
The boot sales, right? Oh, I got to get up early, go to a boot sale. And I remember a couple times he was just kind of on the fence of, I don't know if I should do this anymore kind of thing. If I recall correctly, there's been a couple moments. So maybe, I mean, if I gave up reselling, I probably wouldn't watch a whole lot of reselling content. So that might be what's happening here. Maya says the weather is weird here. Lots of storms and wind over the past few days.
I know there's some wild storms that happen in Texas. I was on the phone with Tyler the other night, and there were like golf ball sized hail coming down, and he had to hurry up and get his car into the garage because your windshield gets nailed with one of those and you're SOL.
Paul Rose says my process is 3 to 4 hours of sleep, followed by a Mission Impossible, followed by exhaustion. LOL.
Oh God.
And see, that's the thing. I really believe, and Jay Ride reminded me of this, and I really believe there's something there to that. You got to give yourself enough sleep and to have just that opportunity to get up feeling fresh. Nothing worse than dragging your ass throughout the day. That sucks.
There's nothing worse.
And it's like, oh, what can I take? I can drink this energy drink, or I can do this. And sometimes you're forcing yourself, you're pushing yourself to get past that 2 o'clock, that 2 o'clock drag.
2 o'clock drag.
Where you just got through eating lunch and your body's like doing whatever it has to do, and it just pulls you down, and you're like, oh, I don't even want to do this right now. So got to force yourself to get through it. Spam Banshee's with us. Thanks for being here. I'm sure Primo Chemo's with you. There he is right there. Enjoying a Feel Good Friday. Yes.
Feel Good Friday.
Paul Rose says, aloha, Spam and Primo. Glenda is with us. Is hi all from windy, sunny Florida. Even in Florida, we got wind.
Yeah.
And I guess Bobby's in West Virginia. So lovely. No word on wind there. Sandra Parker says hi all from the UK.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. It's quite late, about 11 o'clock at night. So thanks for being here.
Beard.
Bearded Picker says, hey, FAE moistlings. Eddie Reynolds says one of my major sources is packed up and hightailed it out of here. So don't a little scrambling, or doing a little scrambling, I'm sure. So how do you adjust to that? And that's probably the biggest, I would think the biggest pain point is you have reliable sources, and then one of them that just says we're closing our shop, or we're not showing up to the flea market anymore, or that type of thing. So what is your next step, Andy? Curious, what is it that, do you have other places that you can source, or are you searching high and low for somewhere else to go? That to me is the biggest problem to fix if you ever run into that issue.
I mean, it can be very detrimental to your business.
Yeah, it could be disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, we went through a phase where, the one sourcing place that we were getting all of our stuff from, it was being ransacked by the employees so badly that we were getting nothing. And our business took a huge hit because of it. So thankfully we had to, John pivoted and found a new source, but man, that was scary.
Well, there's places that I check every once in a while that we used to source at. We used to buy those 20 big boxes of random miscellaneous
junk.
Amazon returns, right? And sometimes you'd find good things in there, but it got worse and worse over time to the point where it's like, all this is just trash. And you go there now, and it's like really some sad liquidation lots. That's why I say about 90% of liquidation lots are not even worth buying to resell. And I think it's probably gotten worse. We got Mike Camparelli says, hi, John and Jenna and FA family. Hope everyone is doing well today. Yes, doing really good. Hopefully you're doing good.
Wait, where did Paul say
he was? Oh yeah, Paul's from in the north of England.
Mordor.
Mordor sounds like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Baubles, Blings, Lethal Things. Lissa says, howdy, dear FA family. Hello, sweet, beautiful Jenna and John. Jenna, I love the waves. Did you go a darker blonde?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And thank you.
How do you go darker blonde? You just wake up and say, I want to go blonde, blonder today, or how does that work?
you don't just wake up and do it. That's just what you do.
Is that all the chemicals that you have me buy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to do the
I
sale.
don't have you buy them. I go buy them.
Paul Rose says, like sales, please, to add to my 3 low value sales today.
Well, we can't guarantee the amount, but sure hope it's a good one.
You want to hear something crazy? You remember that phone call that I had with the supervisor a couple weeks ago? Actually, the end of March, right? So that Friday, $157, 118 on Saturday, 168 on Sunday. That's really the saddest weekend that I've had in a long time. Well, I mean, I really haven't had. I had that following Tuesday, $117, but really pretty strong sales ever since. So whatever they did, that temporary thing that they did to my account. I mean, I say that. I mean, I have no proof, but sometimes you just have a gut feeling that, you end up having a conversation with someone with power that has authority to do something, and then things happen in a bad way. You're like, okay, someone hit a button somewhere. Well, it seems to resolve itself. And I'm telling you, I had great things up for sale that weekend. So I don't know. And a lot of people were reporting great sales. So it wasn't like, okay, everyone was having problems on the site. So hopefully things are back normalized now for us. And that was kind of a scary moment, because you're kind of hoping that that's the case, that someone did something nefarious, because if these are your organic sales, then wow, it's not something that you want to see happen in the end of March, early April. And so as compared to last year, I think we're still up. It doesn't really say here, but I think we're still up like 3 to 5%, which isn't a whole lot. But let's see, last year. So last year, I think we're up. I'm not going to waste your time for me looking this stuff up. I probably should have looked it up before we started. Yeah. Andy.
Yes, Maya, I think the Vero did just tank my account. So that didn't help at all.
Yeah. I don't think it did either. Samantha Hunter says, good evening, John and Jenna.
Hello,
thanks for being here. Andy says, sounds like Jenna's going to have to start listing on that secondary store.
Ain't going to happen.
She just doesn't like it. She'll do everything else, but it's not like it's a situation where we were in 2 years ago, and it's like, yeah, all hands on deck. And if you don't get this account rolling to at least half of what the main's doing, then we're in trouble. I think her outlook would be a little differently if the funds were like that bad, because at one point it was, and we were doing all kinds of things, and really we had one store that was doing the majority of the sales, and it wasn't at all doing what we needed to do. I have things that I do working with my buddy in the trucking industry, and I have some things going on there that's certainly helpful. I mean, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So, I mean, YouTube, it's a very, very small percentage, and I doubt it'll ever be anything more than it is, and I'm fine with that. It's all about the majority of the income, though, is eBay, and as long as things are good, bills are getting paid, and we can go and do things and take time away when we want to, then I'm okay with that. We're in a comfortable place, but that doesn't mean I need to be comfortable. So there's kind of two different things. I mean, you can be comfortable within your life, but you still need to have that fire to get out there every day and get the work done.
Because it can get uncomfortable real quick.
Right. I mean, it's like looking at your bank going, oh man, I going from having $40,000 in the account, right, where you're feeling safe, to like, yeah, we're looking at under 1,000 in the account, and now we're just trying to make it work, right? And then you start doing other things like Uber Eats and stuff like that, food deliveries, and that was bridging the gap. But it's really scary. What if that wasn't there? And what if that isn't even worth it anymore? And we haven't done that in 2 years, and I don't want to do that ever again. But
don't want to versus if we had to are two different things.
Yeah.
If we had to, we would, but we don't, because we're doing very well on our main account. Now, if the other store was, I mean, obviously, I think there's some things that I could probably do to that account because I am, delisting, relisting with TreeCat on a regular basis now, and so that's very helpful. And I believe I got a sale from it. However, it's not dire that we kill ourselves trying to make up work on that account. So the main store is doing its job.
And you guys recall the end of last year, New Year's resolution was, I don't want to spend 12 to 16 hours working. And I think I've accomplished that. I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but I'm still not at where I was before, where I was just putting so much time. And I could do that, but at the at some point, I'm going to look back and say, wow, look at all the time you lost. You didn't have time to even enjoy your life. So, I mean, if you get to a point where you're working 12 to 16 hour days and you have no good times to show for it, what are you doing? You might as well just go back to 9 to 5 at that point, where you're clocking in and clocking out. And some of you guys already do that and do this part-time, but you got to make time for yourself. Like we went to a movie last night. It was fun to get away. I wasn't very enthralled with the movie, but it was still a time away, and we had a good dinner, goofed around the casino a little bit.
Good dinner.
Yeah, the food was good, and had a good time. And Jenna got serenaded by the guy that worked there, and I got a little video cut. I wasn't expecting him to come over. Took a little bit of a video, but we had a good time. So that's what you got to do. You got to find opportunities, and it may only be an hour here, an hour there, but if you don't have anything to look towards, this can be a grind. That could be your internal process that you need to fix, where you reward yourself so that you create motivation. Maybe you don't have motivation. Maybe you have to find ways to get motivated. And I think if you have something to look forward to, like, treat yourself to, a nice dinner, or go out and buy a couple things for yourself. I know money's tight, but for some, but that's kind of what you got to do.
Even just to get out and go for a walk. I mean, now that sure it's windy today, but get out and go for a walk.
Yeah, go buy a kite.
Really? Go buy a kite.
Go buy and fly a kite.
Fly a kite is what he's saying.
No,
it's like every month we have something new, or something to look forward to. John's got a trip coming up soon. Our kid, our daughter and son-in-law and our granddaughters are coming out to visit next month. So we've got things and that's how I run. I don't leave the house hardly ever. I mean, I'm going to have to leave after this and go to the grocery store just to get some dog food. But, other than that, I don't leave the house for much of anything. So when people come out to visit, or I get to go back to California or even to Texas, that is something that I look forward to. It's not always about big things and big purchases and big events. It's not that. My family is my number one, and with them coming to visit or me going to visit them, that lights a fire under me.
Andre Squaw says, okay, got a ka-ching, small sales. Awesome. Spam Banshee says, I've struggled with photo lighting. It's been very frustrating. Photo Room app helps, but I don't want to have to run all photos through the app. I like to use Photo Room. I like the blur feature where it focuses on the item and it blurs the background out, and then I kind of crop it. It looks good. It tells the buyer you have the item. It's not a stock photo, because I think sometimes we take photos with Photo Room and it creates a white background. I've been asked a number of times, hey, do you actually have the item? Is this the actual item that I'm buying? Because it looks too good, like a photo, like a stock photo. So I make it a point to put, photos, stock photos, but also the actual photos of the item with that zoomed out. The problem is the type of lighting that I have. It really kind of like black items, it washes it out. Mm-hmm. So we have, I don't know exactly what it's called. I don't know the brand, but it's a light where I'm going to have a, hell is that right there? It's the a soft box that I haven't opened it yet. It's from Aperture. It's a light box, and it's going to soften the light so that I can list the blacks without it being washed out. And of course, I can use my exposure, on the phone and all that to kind of change the darkness of the photo. But really, and this is just taking from Tommy the information he gave me, finally acting upon it and putting it into play. And I may just do a video to kind of show you guys my setup, but it's nothing at all exciting. Really, it's not. But for me,
it's not, but it makes a big difference when you have the right equipment, or even something that's, you know, I've been telling John for so many years is sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and pay more money for something. He is to the core a cheap person. He buys everything on sale. Everything has to be discounted. It's not a joke. He is very frugal. And so when he says, "Oh, I'm going to buy some lights," I'm like, "Are you going to actually spend some money on some good lights?" And he did.
That is not entirely true, though.
It is so true.
It is not entirely true.
Okay.
I just bought a $500 putter for my set.
Okay. Case in point.
Okay.
He will spend the money on his toys, but he will not spend the money on the things that will make his everyday life better.
Well, the thing is, though, I tried to make the lights work. Different configurations, tried different setups because we had lights. Why throw perfectly good lights out? And I got to the point where like enough is enough. It's time to pony up and spend the money on the lights, which is what we did. But to me, my first inclination is to find the deal. How do I get the same or close to it at a lot lower price?
And during this process, he even bought lights and had to return them because they weren't what he wanted them to be.
No.
Therefore, you had to put more money into it. Yes, we got the money back by returning it. Mm-hmm. However, if you would just put out the money in the first place, you wouldn't have had to go through any of that. Yeah.
Well, you know, none of us are perfect. That's just me.
You're not perfect, but let me tell you, so he sometimes gets mad at me because I do divulge a little too much personal stuff. But ask his family about the coupons.
Oh, yeah.
He is the coupon king.
You know what?
When it comes to fast food coupons, I'm sure there's some on the desk there.
Yeah, they're gonna go through the mail.
His kids will tell you he is the coupon king.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
There isn't. I'm not saying
I can tell you stories of when I would work until 2:30 in the morning, and this grocery store, like across the street from my work, would be open 24 hours, and like we'd have a lot of downtime. So a bunch of us would like do things like to pass the time. Well, clip the coupons, go over to the double coupon store, and just to see what I could get for hardly anything. And there's been many times I filled up baskets and spent like less than $20.
It works out in a good way a lot of the time. However, there are some times where you just need to spend the money to get the right things for the business.
Maya says, yeah, I've definitely had issues with lighting here. I have 2 phones and still use my old phone for photos because I just can't get my colors right in my new phone. And that's frustrating. When you're taking good photos, you think everything's fine. You're looking at the item and the color looks right, but then you take photos with your phone and you're looking at your photos going, that ain't that shade of green, right? It's like, so you start playing with your settings on the photo, and that just takes too much time. I think by getting this light set up where it's going to hang over sort of my photo area with the soft light, I really think that's going to help. Callie Deb says, hi, John, Jenna, and chat. Hope you're all doing well and getting some decent sales. Yeah, I can't complain. Let's see. Bearded Picker says, no more golf until you reach your sales goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no.
Yeah, we're doing fine. I've got a that tournament that we do every year that's happening the first week of May. So things tend to kind of die down on the golf front after that. It gets too hot. So I'm not trying to kill myself. Lissa says sales are still mostly under $35 items despite constant daily listing of a good assortment of types and price points, but sales are still sales. Yeah. I mean, it depends on your situation. Everyone has a different situation. 500 a day for me would be a disaster for someone else. Like, wow, I can't survive on that. You know, maybe it's $200 a day you're shooting for. But just know the higher that number is, really, ideally, you want to have a higher ASP if you can, because that means that's fewer interactions, fewer customers, fewer sales that you have to deal with a higher ASP, fewer supplies you have to go through. I mean, if I had a model where I had to ship out 20, 30 items a day just to make what I'm making, shipping 5 to 10 a day, I'd be blowing through supplies like crazy. Bubble wrap, your poly mailers, boxes. And so there's a lot of benefits for shooting for higher ASP stuff if you can, but not everyone can obtain it. But is everyone looking? Because I'm willing to bet there's some yard sales out there that tomorrow are going to have some things that I just walk by and don't even realize what value's in them. So you got to be on the lookout. Nature Made in Utah says, seems like most of my new products sell pretty good when I'm promoting at 10 or more % or offer the buyer a decent discount. Sell them to my product, sell at listed price. And that's kind of makes my point for the video that I made yesterday. You obviously have room to do 10%. You have room in that item to do decent offers, to give a buyer a decent discount. And buyers usually aren't going for a 10% discount. I know the minimum is 5% when you're sending an offer to Watcher. 10% usually ain't getting the job done. It usually has to be at least 20% to get that buyer's attention, because look at it from a buyer's standpoint. I want or need this item, and the price point's a little too high. So that seller comes to me with a 10% discount. Well, I mean, obviously, if I wanted the item, I probably would have bought it at your asking price. 10% ain't going to sway me, but maybe 20% will. If, you know, a lot of people are price sensitive, and you got to consider that.
Yeah. And I thought, you know, being that my store hasn't been doing very well, I've been sending out offers literally every day, and all throughout the day, every time they come in, I send one right back out. And honestly, they've been up 20 to 25% off, and nobody's buying. So it's, you know, I want to like throw in the towel, but obviously, you know, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it gets frustrating because you're like, what the hell do you want? 50% off? I mean, it gets discouraging.
Well, maybe they've already bought what they're looking for. Maybe they found the price point that they're looking for. They come across as a Watcher, and there's no hope in getting that sale from them anyway. Yeah. So as soon as I get an offer or an opportunity to send an offer to Watcher, I'm sending it. I'm looking at my account throughout the day and sending those out instead of letting them build up and accumulate.
No, I do mine all throughout the day.
Biscuit Bus says, I've been listening like crazy this week. I enjoy our convos and stay on the phone too long. I need to focus. Well,
that is a fact. Good job.
And I'm hopeful your sales are reflecting that focus. Callie Deb says, it's going to rain here in Burbank. It's very dark out and windy.
Oh, my. More rain? That means you get rain, we get rain.
Not always.
Well, most of the time. I did see rain in the forecast.
S. Latina says, grilled cheese while listening, and I had no idea it was grilled cheese day.
That's funny.
Lisa says, need to make photos, shipping and inventory more efficient. Little overwhelming because basically all the things need to improve, and my listing process take way too long to research and list. But if you look at all those things, the whole thing can be overwhelming. So work on one thing at a time. Find the one thing that really is going to be the biggest hurdle that you have to deal with. You're moving my chair.
I'm sorry. Really uncomfortable. I cannot get comfortable today.
Oh, I see that. Sit up, young lady. Beard says, anyone in here going to Nashville meetup in 2 weeks?
I wish.
You thought it was today. Like,
no, there was a Nashville something. I even said to you, I don't think that's the Nashville meetup that people were talking about, but I know that somebody's meeting, and I don't know.
Callie Deb says, I had a scammer follow me over to Mercari. He's
my.
trying to negotiate the price after receiving the item. I told him to return it.
Wow.
So what you said, follow over to Mercari. So he bought from you on eBay, and then how did he follow you to Mercari? Maybe finding your store and sending you messages through there. That's really weird.
I've had somebody do that though.
Did you? Well,
it wasn't on Mercari. It was actually to Poshmark.
Interesting.
And I had blocked them on eBay because they were being ridiculous in their offers, and they I think they thought it was a joke by the third time, and I just deleted, or I declined it, and I blocked them. And then it was the same username over on Poshmark, and I was like, oh no.
Nature Made in Utah says, how do I get uncomfortable selling larger profit items? I'd like to make $300, $500 a day, but now only make an average $50 a day. So it was a very uncomfortable transition. I mean, I'm looking at the stuff that I'm selling right now, and it's like, is this something I want to be doing in the next 20 years when I'm 70 years old, lifting these 30, 40, 50 pound boxes and taking them over to my area, wrangling them out of the box, setting them up so I can take photos, putting them back in the box. And those you guys who buy the bigger items that are in the factory boxes, it's like half the time you can't get the thing back in the box the way you took it out. And then so you're trying to figure that puzzle out. It's nowhere at all easier than, say, selling. Look, I can find these lights. Oops, I can get the box cover back on. I can find these lights. I could just take it out, take photos, and boom, it's sold. It's listed. That's easy.
Yeah, that would be nice. But
that would be nice.
That's just not our business model. We tried that, and it failed miserably. At the end, it worked for a while, and then things got so bad to where we couldn't find the product we needed to sell, and so we ended up having no choice but to change the way we got our source or did our sourcing. We didn't have a choice to buy little items. It was, you buy the big items to make the big money. And so John talks about him not wanting to do this and having to lift the products and all that. I can't. I physically don't have the ability to be able to lift 50-pound items on a regular basis. I'm constantly having to tell him, hey, can you get such and such off of rack G7 or whatever. And it's because these items are so big sometimes and so heavy, and just the boxes are never completed. They are always banged up and messed up, and I've got to, tape them back to health. And so being uncomfortable is not an everyday occurrence. I get uncomfortable every morning. I have to do shipping, and it's not comfortable for me to have to lift up these boxes, flip them and move them, open them, repackage them. It's just little things that you have to do to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to put yourself in a uncomfortable situation buying things that you don't normally, for one, know anything about. I think the biggest thing is learning new products. We are not salesmen in toilet seats or accessibility seating or bed rails or any of those things. But if you were to ask him now, he could probably tell you, nah, you should probably go with this one rather than this one. So it's not gained overnight or within a few hours. It's over time, and you have to put yourself in that situation to be able to eventually be comfortable.
And just to answer your statement there, Nature Made in Utah, you kind of hit the nail on the head, at least for us, selling larger profit items. most people gravitate away from those larger items. So inherently, yes, it's more work. I'm getting less items up than most people would ideally list in their account, but I'm running into less competition on eBay because fewer people are wanting to go with those larger items.
Right.
And that's a key too. Try to find ways to lessen your competition. How do you get ahead of your competition or minimize your competition through what you're selling? And that's kind of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Rich Jones says Picky Ricky is currently working now. That's what happened.
Okay. Yeah. I had a feeling he was, I know he had talked about getting a normal job.
Maya says, Callie Debs, be careful. I just went through this. If you get scammed on Mercari, they only give you credits. Wow. They won't refund you. So that's interesting. Oh. So instead of being able to deduct 50%, you just have to make a case with Mercari and they'll give you credits. Wow. I mean, if you sell enough stuff on Mercari, I guess that it's all a wash anyway. The bigger picture, you get enough credits to cover your well, I mean, but then again, you're not paying fees anymore. So what are these credits? Are they like a discount off of your purchase of something on Mercari? That's very interesting.
No, just okay. I know I'm skipping ahead.
I know
but she answered her. She said it was a percussion instrument that I played, one of a kind. He wants a better price, bought it, and is trying to negotiate after receiving it.
Send it back. Not Funny says insane wind in Michigan too. Maya's buyer sent me her dirty stained undershirt back when I sold her jeans.
Ew.
Jeez. God. EVS says, hi, John and Jenna. I just ordered a new clothes steamer. Realized the amount of time wasted trying to MacGyver the old one. More costly, need to steam my vintage t-shirt inventory quickly.
Absolutely. So those are the little things that you can do to help your your processes move in a better direction. It may seem so minuscule at times to invest in something as small as, let's say, a steamer. Sometimes you just do it and it makes your life so much easier.
Paul Rose says, I do all my processes in batches, sort a large amount, photo all, and gang in folders, weigh, measure, describe all, list. Don't sometimes know when to quit, though. Currently over 1,500 ready to list.
Holy cow.
Wow. So you have all that stuff that's not listed, but waiting in queue, and time to get that stuff listed.
Yeah.
Can't sell it if it's not up. Rich says, insane bangs in Ohio. Insane bangs in Ohio?
Does that mean are you having tornadoes?
Or do you need to go to a barber, or what's going on here? I don't know. Undercover treasure hunters. Hi, all. Listen in while packing orders.
Nice.
Mike Gertis says, so true about sleep. I stayed up till 3 a.m. working my taxes, and it wasn't worth a darn the next day.
Yeah.
And that was fun. You know what? If you guys do your taxes, for those of you who do your taxes yourself, for years I would use TurboTax Online. And it was like $219 because I'm using Schedule C, just the amount they charge you for using the service. And it's like, okay, that's fine. The business writes it off anyway the following year. But I learned that if you buy the actual software that you go and buy the little download code for through TurboTax, it's the same software. It's like $100 cheaper, $120 cheaper. And here's the cheapskate in me, right? So that's something I learned this year. If you guys are doing your taxes, and you don't need the help. So the other $120 you're spending is to get a help from a CPA if you don't know really quite how to navigate through the software, which I don't have a problem doing. That's what you pay the extra $120 for. Otherwise, just go get the software, put it on your computer. You have access to all the forms, whereas the online version, you can't access your Schedule C to make an adjustment. I found this out because it had asked me if I changed my accounting method from cash to accrual, and I accidentally answered yes. And it gave me an error message. I'm like, what the hell? But it wouldn't let me go back. And so I had to go buy the software, and then it imported all my progress from online to the software. And I was able to go into Schedule C and finish and say, no, I didn't mean to say that. So that was my little nightmare that I dealt with. But I saved $120 in finding out how to do it.
And let me be very clear. I am not mad about him being a cheapskate. Yes, it can be frustrating because he limits us on where we can eat sometimes because he only has coupons for certain places.
That's not true. Now you're really...
I'm teasing. He doesn't do that.
No.
But I'm just saying, John is very aware of our financial situation at all times and doesn't care how much money is in the bank. He wants to do it on the cheaper route at all times. Usually.
Because one thing that she doesn't seem to get is that, oh, it's only $30. Oh, it's only $20. Oh, it's only $40. But now you've look at all the money you've spent that accumulated because you said it was only 20 or 30 or 50. So I'm mindful of that. And I got to tell you, if it wasn't for that frugalness, we would have been in bad shape a long time ago.
Yes.
So
yes. I'm like I said, I'm not hating on it. Yes, it can be frustrating sometimes, but I'm okay with it. I'd rather you be that way than us, have not a penny to our name.
Yeah. Mike Seller says, hello from South Dakota, everyone.
South Dakota. I think I really want to go to South Dakota just for some reason.
Andy Reynos says, I do have other sources, but none as great as that. So I'll just have to find another great one.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corey Cloud says, wow, I get to hit the like button during the live, normally after for me. Wow.
Sweet.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you here. Big Dre says, hello, everyone. I might mix things up and go yard selling this weekend. A lot of yard sales have been going since yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I keep missing the Friday.
Yesterday.
Well, Fridays, Thursdays? A lot of people have Friday. Well, probably meant yesterday, but like today, Friday, I keep forgetting Friday is start for yard sales for a lot of people. A lot of people can't get to Friday yard sales, and I need to start remembering that.
I don't know a lot of people that would be able to do a Friday.
Oh, well.
I mean, okay, I'm just saying like that are not working a real job. You know what I mean?
We have 45 sales that were going off tomorrow, that are going off tomorrow. There's 18 that went off today.
And those are just listed.
There's 18 yard sales that happened today, according to the yard sale app. And I did not go to a single one of them. So my bad on that. There's so many opportunities you could find at yard sales, a good yard sale. And I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. Biff Boffo says sales are up more than 50% over last April so far. That's good.
Awesome.
Wish I would have known just to be patient with the updates. Well, I mean, we were kind of saying that, let's just keep navigating through the chain. We all know that we're beta testers for eBay. And we all know that eBay is going to be doing things behind the scenes. They're not going to share the details with us. And we just got to stay the course. And I think the biggest fear last year, listening to Josh Galt, the issues that he had beginning of April was that, wow, is this going to be the norm after April 1 through the summer? Are we going to be looking at low sales? Is this the way it's going to be? Is this the new normal? And I think the answer to that question is no. Even I believe Josh has pretty good sales going on right now. So we got to know that eBay is going to cause us problems, and we just got to weather the storm. And hopefully it gets better. And it did get worse before it got better. And I think it's getting better for a lot of people now. Mm-hmm. Samantha Hunter says, damn, I just had a power surge for several minutes. I missed a bunch. What are we discussing now? Just like the title says, what's the one thing that you need to improve within your business? What can you do to make yourself more efficient? And I'm sure everyone can be efficient somewhere. I mean, even Tommy can probably find somewhere where he can get more efficient. We got Roman says, he's here, says, Archie just told me that I need to pay him $5,000 just for 5 minutes to be in his live.
In this live.
In this live. Okay. I was about to say, because if Archie had a live, that's rare. Archie doesn't do lives. Paul Rose says, had to block and report a zero feedback buyer the other day. Sent me like A4 length messages in 2 items. One asking about the history of an item and personal details. He would buy them if he could. Wow. Yeah, I love the folks that want to be like your pen pal. They ask you a question, you give them a professional answer, and or they ask a question with like this long-winded thing about their life and why they need the item. It's like, I don't care. I really don't. I don't need a pen pal. Samantha Hunter says, what happened, Jenna? The Vero hit your account. I'm so sorry to hear that. The Vero scare me. eBay should work on helping us with that. That kind of dampens the experience as a reseller on eBay.
It does, but John knew it was going to get Vero'd because
I didn't know that.
Because it got Vero'd on his account first, and then he goes and he put it on my account and it got Vero'd.
I wanted to see what would happen if I got Vero'd on that. What the hell was it?
It's an automatic paper towel.
Oh yeah, it was when you're
Georgia
in the Pacific
bathroom in the at the casino and that automatic paper towel holder.
So I'm like, okay, this is too coincidental. This happened, I was put on a Vero list, so that's why I got hit with the 2 Veros back to back. So thought, you know what? Let me put this on this account. Let me just see what happens. And 2 or 3 days later, boom, get hit with a Vero. So I guess when they put you on a Vero list, they put you on both accounts. But Paul Rose is the other telling me he has ADHD, giving me the history of TVs he had owned, and do people buy this crap? There are some nutters. Yeah, there are.
Yeah, there really are.
There really are.
They're very lonely people.
David Gwilt says, good evening, all. Thanks for being here today.
Evening.
Simple Beautiful says, nice hair do, Miss Jenna. How do you get it so bouncy?
I don't really know. I just used a smaller curling iron this time.
I just want to know how you got the black hair and the glasses.
Oh God,
that was
called
a classic
Photoshop.
One. Yeah. Samantha Hunter says, ooh, John and Jenna date night. Enjoy the life. Enjoy. That was yesterday.
Yeah, we did that yesterday.
Venom says, hey, John, happy to see you again. I think I'm going to get top-rated sellers soon. Over 100 sales and 1,000 in sales. It is worth it. Is it worth it? Don't you get 10% off in fees? No, 10% off in fees is when you're top-rated seller plus. Top-rated seller plus, you have to have free returns, and I don't do free returns on most of my items. So on the items I will do free returns, it's under 2 pounds, and then you get 10% off of your listing fees for that particular item once you hit top-rated seller. So it just depends on what you want to do. I'm not giving a 30-pound, 40-pound item free returns to nobody. Nature Made in Utah says, one thing I noticed when I started selling new and better products is my traffic increased a lot. Is this normal? Yeah, you're going to get more people looking for items because that's more demand means more traffic. So that's kind of what you want. But then again, I've never really, I used to, but I don't look at the traffic as being an indicator of really anything meaningful because they changed. Like last year, they changed the traffic. Like, oh, by the way, you got extra page views, but you got fewer impressions. It's like, well, how do you do that? How do you change that? And so it tells me that the traffic isn't right. So I don't rely on it. Maya says, Venom, I think the fee discount is only for top rated plus. That's correct. Venom says, doesn't top rated seller plus get you 10% off the final value fees? That means instead of 13.25 fee, it's only 3.5, right? No, that means if your final value fee of 13.25% ended up being $10 in final value fees, that means you're only paying $9. You're getting 10% off of what you owe eBay or what you would have owed eBay. So it's still a discount because if you look at it over 200-300 items, it can add up, right? And a lot of people say, well, it even adds up to offset the amount of spending on return labels. And people advocate for that to give you the higher placement in search. And I think it is a good strategy, but for me, it's just not in the cards. Anytime Picker Roman said it's been raining so hard in Cleveland for the last 2 days that if it continues, I'll have to find a boat tomorrow to move around.
That's what I told Tyler. And he's in Texas, and he calls me second night in a row, and he's like, the rain is just pelting everywhere, and it's flooding everywhere, and it comes in and it goes. It's there for like maybe 10 minutes and then it's gone. But the flooding is crazy.
And Kent with another strong comment
this week. He's a man of many, many words.
A few more dots and that would have been the comment of the year. You just missed it. Tommy says 10% off the final value fee, not the 10% off the fees. Right. Josh Galt says, hi, John and Jenna. Hi, everyone. Please smash that like button. They're doing marathon podcasts today. Yeah, we have
Wow.
Beards Live today after we're done here. And then after Beards Live, we're going to do the podcast for the Profit Playbook
You guys
podcast.
are crazy. I don't know how you're going to need more Mio.
No, because what you guys don't see is on Beards Live, we spend a solid 2 hours just talking shop. I mean, we might as well just stay live, for those. So we stay 2 hours at least talking shop after the live. So it's the same thing. Rich Jones says, unfortunately, some of us have to pay taxes and insurance, so we don't get it paid by the government. That's true.
That's a fact.
Taxes. I had to
believe me, we had to pay taxes.
Yep.
Came out of my makeup fund.
Yeah. No, that money was pulled out, so it's fine. But it's about what I expected to pay. Let me put it that way.
Actually, it was less.
A little, not by a lot, though. Not by a lot.
By like 5,000.
No, I figured it would be 1,000, a little bit, 1,000 more than what we paid.
No, you gave me a figure.
I always estimate high.
16.
I always
And you said
estimate high.
11.
I always estimate high because I don't. It's like I can accept if I say, okay, I'm going to owe $16,000 in taxes after everything's said and done, and it is 16,000. Well, I guess it's 16,000, right? So okay, 16,000. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not devastated. But if I overestimate and it's less, then hey, I'm happy about that. So I'm happy about that. Let's see. Venom says, yeah, I could do that ping, but final value fee is 13.25%. So it's 10% off of that. Yes. But you can't take a percentage off of a percentage. It just doesn't work that way. So a percentage is 13.25% off of a $100 sale is $13.25. 10% off of that is $1.32. So you would get a $1.32 discount for being top rated seller.
It all adds up.
Let's see. Tommy says 10% off the final value fee on the sale. The fee is $8. You get 80 cents off. That's right. Tommy also says lighting means more than anything. Chinese junk on Amazon is terrible, and I fell into that trap. Right? I mean, we're talking. I started with those little small LED round lights with like little prop up stands that like sit around the product, and it's like, yeah, that's where we started.
Oh,
and
that's horrible.
Betty Gammon says, yeah, John, frugal rules.
Yes, it does.
I mean, that's also, I mean, if you have $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in bills, it makes doing this job really difficult. And the goal is to keep your bills as low as you can. And for a lot of us, it's like where we live, it's hard to navigate that because it's like if you're in the cities, it's like the cost of living is a lot higher. I mean, that's kind of why we escaped California, because we're constantly reminded when we go and visit how much everything is as compared to even Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're always happy to come home when we leave California.
Yeah. And there's something about Vegas. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, it's be a disaster to live there, right? But no, if you know how to deal with like the gambling and stuff in very, very moderate amounts, if at all.
Well, I don't gamble at all.
No. She found $5 in the casino last night. We're walking. She's like, John, like, it's funny. She's like, she thought she was going to like, she was breaking the law. Like there's a $5 bill.
Oh, John,
and she's like, John. And of course I picked it up and I handed it to her. And I expected her to throw it in the machine, right? She put it in her pocket, in her purse. It's like, really? It's like,
gotta go to
$5.
my makeup and skincare.
But she was like, she thought she was going to get arrested if she picked it up.
Because I thought maybe it was the lady that was like sitting over here, but she wasn't paying no attention.
Biff Buffalo says, hope that Scotty Cameron works magic. It's not a Scotty. It's not a Scotty Cameron putter that I bought. I could have bought one, and I still can. If I wanted to, I could exchange the putter I have. I've got like 90 days. But this one, it has more technology in it, and it's a lab putter, and it's pretty cool.
It's pretty wild looking.
But it works good, so that's all that matters. So I'm not. A lot of people buy those like name brand. It's like, ooh, look at my putter, but then they go and hit like 3 houses. So what is it? You know, if they're not playing good golf, what is a Scotty help. Venom says, anyone here top rated or plus worth it? It's overhyped. As far as I'm concerned, top rated is certainly where you want to be, but top rated plus is overhyped. So strive for top rated. Don't worry so much about top rated plus. Beard says, preach, Jenna. Took a year to convince him on the paper tape machine.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're looking at like, I can put tape on this box for free. Why do I need a machine to do that for me at $500 and some odd, right? But then you spend the money and then you don't think about it afterwards, right? And then
it just makes you more efficient. I mean, it just changes the way you do your common everyday duties.
Mike Sellers says, trying to buy fresh karma, LOL, need boat stuff. Well, darn it. Thank you for the super chat. When you say need boat stuff, are you looking for boat stuff for yourself to sell? Curious what you need with boat stuff.
Need boat stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, fresh karma. Hit that like button.
Do you want it for personal reasons, or do you want it to resell?
Yeah, we come across boat stuff all the time. Let's see. And this is the right time of year to get boat stuff because people they're pulling their boats out. They're, weather's getting nice and, I need this or I need that for my boat. So Samantha wants to know, when is it okay to stop a listing and restart it? And I also have a watcher attached. Like I still have 13 more days before it restarts. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm not so concerned about watchers or anything like that. If you just send an offer, it's probably not the best thing to do to end and sell similar. Give that watcher a chance to buy it if you sent them an offer. But I would say some people do it every day. Like Primo Chemo does his end item sell similar every day, and it gives that new item boost every day on his listings. Some people like Tommy do it for that item once a month, like the day before eBay restarts it, like you say, before it restarts. So when eBay restarts it, you're not getting a new item boost. When you do it, you do. So for me, I think the ideal thing to do is to do it once per item per month before eBay gets their hands on it, and you're using the same number of listings. Yeah. Now, if you have a lot of listings to work with, do it every day or do it once a week or whatever. That also helps.
Like, for instance, right now I have four items. I have 161 items in my store currently. And so I have 4 items that are going to basically end on eBay's terms. So they've got one more day and then they recycle, right? Mm-hmm. So I will go into TreeCat and I will delist and relist all 4 of those items. And I do that every day, depending on how many are going to recycle themselves in the next few days. So like, for instance, when we're off and done with this live, I will go in TreeCat and I will delist and relist those 4 items so that eBay doesn't do it for me.
Now, I don't know if TreeCat's with us on the live or not, but it's going to be launched I thought they had launched it, but they don't have that set yet, right? He said
there was a couple of bugs that they needed to work out, and depending on how that went, if they were able to get the bugs out, then the scheduler for the delist relist would happen, but he would let us know.
Yeah. So I haven't heard anything yet.
Well,
I mean, I guess I haven't looked either. I mean, maybe you can look while I'm yapping over here. Oh, they're right there. So she's going to find out. But for those of you who have not signed up for TreeCat, use the link down below. You can use it to cross-list your items over to Mercari and Poshmark. And currently, the service is free. They have not attached the payment server or the payment service to the software. So give it a try. Use the link down below and get your stuff listed. What did it say?
They ran into a few bugs on the scheduler, and so they had their team working very late into the night, and they told them just to stop and go to sleep. told them to go to bed and come back and refreshed and work on it some more, because the bugs that were there they couldn't fix
But
right away. So
I'm confident they'll get it going.
I'm sure it's going to be any day now. They are working very diligently to try to get that feature up and running. And I have to say that I absolutely love the delist relist feature because of the fact that it is so simple. All it is like literally 2 clicks of a button. 2 clicks or 1 click of 2 buttons, and it works flawlessly so far. And so I don't expect, I mean, yeah, there was a couple of things right in the very beginning when they were working on it that I had an issue with, but they fixed them, and it worked right away the very next time I did it. And you don't have to do anything else to it. You don't have to sync them. You don't have to match them. You don't have to do anything. It matches them with Poshmark and Mercari automatically. And it works like a charm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, you know what, give it a shot. I think a lot of us could use cross listing to boost our sales, even if it's 10 to 20% in sales, additional sales, by getting your stuff over to other people who will not use eBay. There's a certain percentage of the population, be it they've had a bad experience on eBay or they just don't want to use eBay for whatever reason. They're shopping on Mercari, they're shopping on Poshmark, and you're not getting your item in front of those people because they're not seeing it on eBay. So something to consider. Ping G says if you make lots of money, that 10% could mean a lot of money. Yes, it can. And so within reason, if I sold, 1 pound, 2 pound items exclusively, I would certainly consider free returns on that. Tommy says John is still buying 3-ply toilet paper and making 3 rolls out of it, according to Archie.
No, that's
Where do you find 3-ply?
No, we certainly do not skimp on toilet paper around here.
Yeah. There's some things in life.
There's
that we don't.
just some things in life you don't buy the cheap.
I recall
stuff.
Bearded Picker having a rant about the toilet paper that he had to deal with in the casino or in Vegas.
Gas station?
No, not the gas. Who does that?
I don't know.
Look, I'll hold it in for an extra 2 hours before I use the gas station. Let's see. Maya says,
sorry, I brought it up.
Says, I feel like it depends on what you sell. If I was in a lower return category, I would probably do it just to get the fee discount. Yep, that's for sure. Biff Boffo says, I don't like Top Rated Plus because I'd rather have 2-day shipping, even though my metrics are mostly 1 day. Yeah, for me, we ship daily. And sometimes someone buys it right past the cutoff, like 9 a.m. is our cutoff for same day on eBay. They buy it at 10 a.m. We'll still ship it usually. Venom says, John, ever had anyone make offers on like 9 items in a row, one after another, 50% off all of them, then message saying they want a bulk deal? I'm not desperate, so I'd rather sell one by full price.
Mm-hmm.
So and I've had some crazy offers, nothing like that, but you come back and maybe send them a message saying, look, here's the best price I'm willing to give on these items. It's not 50%. Maybe I can come down to 80 because you still want to make a sale. The last thing you want to do is to tell them to get lost. I think to if someone is halfway serious, they might come to you with an insulting offer, but they are willing to come back to earth. I had an offer on a coin sorting machine that I picked up. Thing was like in brand new condition with just open box. Still had like a lot of the components were still wrapped with the internal packaging. And I listed this thing for $140 plus shipping. The guy came at me with 70 for 70. Now, a lot of you would have been like, no, get out of here. I didn't want to talk to you. That's low ball. But I came back and said, look, I'm into this thing for $10. So I could take 70, but I just listed this thing. If I had sat on this for 3 weeks, I probably would have taken it.
You didn't tell him you were in it for only 10.
No, I don't tell him that.
No.
You never tell the buyer what you're into it for. But you can tell them, I just listed this today, and they sell normally for a lot more than what you've offered. So the best I can do is 110 plus shipping. And that was my bottom line because I knew that thing was going to sell. And guess what? He bought it. Okay. So sometimes people are going to try to hit you with a low ball offer to see where you're at. Just like going to a yard sale. You know what? I see this item that I want. I've used props today. I don't know why, but I see this thing that I want. I know that I can get, $75 for it on eBay, but I don't know where this person is at the yards. Where is their mind with their prices? So I will take, heck, I got all kinds of crap here. I'll take this item and say, hey, what do you want for this tape measure? Oh, I want $10. I ain't even going to make an offer. Okay. But if they say, give me $1. Okay. Okay. And then what about this? Oh, $2. Okay. I'll buy it. So I never try to.
Checking the temperature of their mindset on their items. A lot of people have in their mind, I paid $50, therefore I want $48 for it.
Yeah.
They want top dollar and they're not going to get it. They don't know that, but you do.
And sometimes I'll be looking around, just gauging what they have, and I'm listening. So they're interacting with another person at the yard sale, and that person says, what do you want for this thing? Oh, $10. Mm-hmm. And you look at it and go, oh, hell no. I'm out. I'm not even going to bother at this point.
Yeah, John just walks away. And I'm like, where are you going? You haven't even looked at anything else.
Yeah. So I'm done. You can't get some people down on their prices. They just want too much.
They're too emotionally attached to what they paid for it.
Let's see. Samantha says, Jen, I believe in the food retail coupons. I enjoy them as well as need them.
Yes. I mean, we do too. We use them every time they come in the mail. I put them aside in a pile for John's pile of mail, in my pile of mail, but it's just a funny thing because he's done it for so many years that even the kids, where's your coupons, Dad? Where's your coupons?
Mike's with coupons. He likes being frugal.
Yes.
You know what?
I just think it's funny.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you guys in your market have this. Anybody out there use Uber Eats to order food? So they give us every so often like a 40% off deal. So if you spend $25, you get 40% off. And with tip, and I have Uber One, so with tip, I don't get fees. I think I like a small service fee. But after it's all said and done, we can order 2 meals and get it for like $10 less. That's with the tip delivered. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing.
What's wrong with that? I can save myself 20 minutes going to get it, and I can work while I'm waiting for them to deliver the food. Paul Rose says, you can stop a listing anytime you like with or without watchers. And sell similar a batch each day. I tend to leave the ones with watchers until they're nearly due to renew. I agree with that. If you have a multi-quantity listing where you have previous sales, I think it hurts more than it helps to end item sell similar on that, because having previous history on an item, previous sales on a multi-quantity listing is helpful to have. So I wouldn't recommend end item sell similar on that. Let's see. Maya says, if you sell large items, I wouldn't do free returns. I haven't even bothered trying to do free returns because there's many times people return the item saying doesn't fit or changed mind, right? And wow, if I had free returns on that, I'd be out $30 or $40 in addition to the original shipping. Well, I guess I wouldn't have to refund that. Venom says, anytime, what are the negative feedback advantages or return advantages? Probably talking about top rated. Really none. The difference for me is if you're top rated seller, you have to offer 30-day returns to use the refund tool. If you're not top rated seller, you have to offer free returns, 30-day returns to get access to the refund tool that allows you to make adjustments up to 50% on the refund. So that would be the only benefit I see. Freya says, hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Pink says top rated plus for the listing. So if the listing has expensive shipping, you don't have to offer free returns on that listing. Bobby Marshall says, my sales are lousy for where I've been in the last 6 months. Started a second store, moved low dollar stuff there, opted out of international shipping in both stores, and wonder if that's hurting me. That's kind of our model. Focus on higher ASP stuff, and on the main store, let all your other things move over to the secondary store, and just keep plugging away. I think sometimes, though, there are some higher ASP things that really are still low demand and low sell through. Like I have an axle knee for a damn tractor that I bought like almost a year ago. It's bought it for $1, and the thing goes for $200.
Any farmers out there that might need that?
Yeah, it's brand new. It has never been attempted to be placed on a tractor. So I'm thinking, wow, high ASP, but there's no demand in that. Venom says, ever have anyone submit a return, but they cancel it? It still counts as a return, and that's a bummer. Will that one return out of 100 sales impact if I get top rated plus? I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with top rated plus. You get that one return, even though they cancel the return or never send it back, it is counted against your overall total. And if you're over a certain percentage, I think it's, what is it, 3%? No, it's over. Well, it depends on the category. So you have up to 10 transactions within a category. If you have 10 or more, then that rate is counted against you for that category, where you're paying 5% extra if you're too high in your return. So it has nothing to do with top rated seller on that. Bobby Marshall says, signed up back on international shipping today. Hope that helps. 11K down over my last 90 days. So, I mean, there's probably a lot of things involved. I don't think that international is that big of a difference. Maybe doing international on your own with like pirate ship, but I am not going to, first of all, I have too large items to even offer the international folks. They're not going to want to spend the kind of money that eBay is making people spend for that large of an item. Maybe on the, do we have international set on your account?
I think you said you did
turn it on. I think we turned it on. And how have sales been since that time? Crap, right?
Yes.
So now I'm glad you mentioned it, Bobby, because I thought I set it on the secondary account with international, and I fear that could be what's causing slow sales, partially what's causing. We got an offer on that account, by the way.
We do?
Yeah, it's right there. An offer. Oh. So I'm curious to find that. Maybe I'll pass it on if I can find an answer to that question. Let's see. Josh is with us. I started listing on Mercari again.
This is what I'm talking about.
$12. Yeah. Come back at 25. Josh says, I started listing on Mercari again, got a few decent offers so far. And, not only that, but check your listings. If someone hearts the item on Mercari, send them an offer. I mean, even now more than ever, if you weren't willing to send offers before and you have your stuff on Mercari, send it now, because you're not paying fees on the transaction. The buyer is.
Yeah. And it's weird because I didn't even know that you could send offers on Mercari, because it's not blatantly clear. You have to go in and do promote. And then in the promote button is the option to send offers to likers. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because I always wondered why there wasn't a way to do it. Well,
we're not enrolled. Do you want to enroll? We weren't enrolled on the secondary account. I just enrolled into it on your account.
What do you mean you enrolled?
I enrolled on international shipping on the second account to see what happens if I. So
it can't get any worse. I haven't gotten any sales.
So it's sometimes you have to do things that are kind of trial and error. So what works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. Just depends on what we're selling. That's why, there's lots of advice on YouTube, and some of it applies and some of it shouldn't apply at all to your situation. So don't be afraid to do trial and error for a little while. Give it a couple weeks. And if you notice no difference, or maybe you do notice a difference, then keep going with it or go away from it. Venom says, have you noticed the new eBay feature? My items now show when someone has it in their cart. It has a red banner saying how many views in the last 24 hours. Is that new? I haven't seen cart one. I haven't seen that. I haven't noticed that. So maybe it's a new feature that they just added. Maybe somebody in the chat can comment on that.
I'm sure they did.
Jackie says, late notifications doesn't seem to work anymore. Well, make sure you guys
turn it off
hit
and
that
turn
bell.
It back on.
Yeah. Also, make sure you subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate that. And then hit the notification bell so that sometimes every so often I'll hit that live button, go live without any notice. I mean, it doesn't happen that often, but I did was it a couple Thursdays ago, and was talking about taxes. Nobody knew. Jerry Johnson says, I'm sending out offers regularly and getting a few responses with orders.
Yes.
I mean, all you can do.
I don't get any. No response.
These are things that you have control over. So the offers you send, you have control over. The end item sell similar process, you have control over. You have control over so many different things within your account. And then everything else is really up to just sometimes luck. Sometimes you have a good deal that you're offering people. But I think that for some, that might be a process that you need to develop. Maybe you don't even bother with sending offers. Maybe you don't like looking at your messages. Maybe you should consider adding maybe once in the morning, once in the evening to take care of those things, and that'll help you out a lot. I really believe that eBay does measure that. Some people want to say that your messages, how fast you get back to a buyer, means nothing. I firmly believe that it is measured and it affects your account health in some way, even if it's in a small way. I believe it does affect your account. Maya says, that happens to me on a regular basis with people following me to my other platforms. I'd say 2 to 3 times a month. I've never seen that before.
I only had it that one time.
Venom, I feel like I'm getting interrogated here. John, can you answer how blocking works on eBay exactly? What does eBay tell them? I block them. What happens when they try to send another message? Does it show them a message? I block them. I think that it allows them to send a message, but you never see it. Now, I might be wrong with that. Now, if they try to buy your item, it'll say this seller has blocked you from buying their item, that type of thing. But blocking is just that. It allows you to not interact with that buyer anymore. Now, from what I understand, if you have an active listing that they've bought from you, if even if you block them, I believe that they can still contact you because it's an active listing that they're working with. Also, they can open a claim like an item not received and then contact you that way as well. So I might be a little off on that because I block people all the time, but I generally don't hear from them again. So Venom also says it was for a cheap video game and he claimed it didn't work. Yet I test all items before shipping and it worked. Offered refund after return request. Should have done it before I learned. But it's all a learning experience, right? So the next time you get that, you know how to handle it. Maya says what has cut is down is completely ignoring the buyer on eBay or whatever platform from the start. If I reply, then it makes more determined. If they message and get crickets, they move on.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Josh Avenando says, hello, you mentioned before that you had to drive Uber for a while you were reselling. Do you think it helped you in any way? Yeah, it helped me pay my bills. I mean, we would probably, in the morning we get up, we do the eBay thing, we'd ship our stuff, we'd list, and then we'd be like, okay, I'm going to go out from 4 to 8 or 9 for the dinner rush. And, we both did. And we kind of had make a contest, like how much did you make? We'd make anywhere in that 5-hour period from like $150 to $200, and which isn't bad if you know how to work it to where the orders you take, the distance you drive. There's a little formula that you use to figure out, well, should I take this order or not? And if you play the game right and you pick, the order that's going to do the least amount of driving with the most pay, then you're going to make pretty good money. I do know there's people who do that right now and they're doing well. They certainly does help supplement things. We're talking sometimes $20 to $30 an hour, and you don't have a boss to answer to. Just you got to follow their processes.
And you have to remember, like every business, there's going to be good days and bad days. Yeah. There'd be days where I would only make maybe $50 in a little, maybe a 4 or 5 hour period. That's because the day it's just an off day, not a lot of people ordering. So you just go home and you work harder on eBay. But there's going to be great days, and you have to figure that out for your own area. Like for us, Tuesdays and Wednesdays were terrible, and it wasn't even really worth the gas to even go out. And so we knew that Friday Saturday and Sunday were the best money makers for us. So you kind of have to figure that out for your area that you're in. But it definitely helped us get out of a really scary place.
Lisa says, sold an item for $155 plus shipping, most expensive ever sold. There you go. Buyer joined 328 with 1 feedback. Does eBay protect sellers from scammers? Scared about this, had 0 feedback, be fine, but now low dollar stuff.
Don't be scared.
So, and I know it's easier said than done, but take it from somebody who has sold for many years. I don't mind dealing with the 0 feedback people.
Sometimes they're the best ones to deal with.
I'd rather deal with, because again, that 1 feedback person, chances are they don't have the same experience as that 1,000 feedback person who knows eBay, who knows how to work eBay policies, who knows how to get eBay to side with them on a claim to be able to keep the item and their money back. So I'm good with the new buyers. Generally, you're not going to get any issue. You're going to have seller protection. So if you ship it to the exact address that they give you in the order, do not allow them to say, hey, I put the wrong address in. That should send off red flags. So for me, follow the process that eBay has laid out, and you're going to be protected. And that's the way that's the advice I'd give. Insure your item, make sure it's packed properly, make sure that you follow all the best practices, and you're going to be okay. Samantha says, I want to open my selling range to Canada. Is it difficult shipping to them? Have you had any issues that you can mention? No, not really. It just takes a little longer to ship to Canada. We threw the international shipping program on the second account just to see what would happen. But generally, I use Pirate Ship for international shipping. And you just make sure, if anything that's different, you want to make sure that if the item is questionable, like, this will make it, but, I could have done better on the packing, get in there and make sure it's packed as good as you can, just to make sure that there's no issues. Because generally, U.S. shipping is pretty good, but, you don't know how the handoff is going to be to the Canadian Postal Service and how they handle their packages. So that's the way I would look at it. Callie Deb says, it was a percussion instrument that I played, one of a kind. He wants a better price. Bought it, trying to negotiate. Okay, I think we had answered that one. Undercover Treasure Hunter says, the other day we were comping an item, and the next thing you know, we received an offer from a seller on the item we were comping, which made us wonder, are some watchers mistaken for viewers on eBay? So as a seller, if you're doing your research and you're into a listing enough times, then eBay will think you're an interested buyer and will put you as a watcher. You don't necessarily have to hit the heart on the listing to be designated as a watcher. eBay will assume that you're a watcher and you're an interested buyer when you're just a seller. So be very careful that when you get an offer from someone, it's not them offering you, because some people have made that mistake.
Yeah, I have.
You have?
I didn't buy it.
But you didn't tell me about it, I don't think. You just totally skated that one.
They sent me an offer, and I'm like, wait a minute, what happened?
Maya says, John, it credits off your purchase. You can't cash it out. Personally, I can't pay my bills on Mercari credits. Yeah, there's not enough stuff on Mercari that I want anyway. Maybe golf stuff. We've got Grandma Mary's Attic is here with us. Says gross. Don't know what's gross, but thanks for being here. Wolfman's Goodies says, howdy guys. Thanks for being here as well. Maya says,
about the toilet paper.
Can you imagine selling an item worth hundreds of dollars and only getting Mercari credits? I've seen people posting about that too.
That would be very upsetting. That's
no good. That's not good at all. Grandma Mary says, I shipped the night before, so I have a happier morning. I think that is good advice. There's the last thing you really want to do. If I had to do the whole shipping thing, and I used to do this before she's like, okay, look, I don't want to list anymore on this other account. Let me just do the thing you don't want to do, which is shipping. It's like the thing I really don't like about reselling. So I would just do it the night before. And so that it's done, you're going to have to deal with it. Only the residual stuff that happens overnight. And usually it's 2 or 3 items at most that you wake up to, and it's done. You can get off to a fresh start and get to listing. That would be my advice to folks who find themselves in a rut. And really, the one thing they don't enjoy is shipping. Get it done the night before. Just get it out of the way. EVS is my photo setup, 2 LED cool white shop lights across stools on a table. Use my iPhone, edit in Mac Photo, then use Acorn for Mac if needed. I photo clothes on a mannequin in a room, normal light. Yeah, I mean, the best kind of light you can get is natural light, like open a window, that type of thing. But to me, it's like you can get good studio light, but it gets to be too much. You're gonna need to soften it, and so that's what we got this for, this aperture deal, and we have the matching light coming tomorrow, so I'll set it up. And I have a stand.
More lights coming?
There's another one, an aperture light that I'm gonna mount on the wall, and it's gonna have a downward angle towards my area. Yeah, so like I believe Tommy has his mounted on the ceiling going down.
What I told you to do.
No, because I don't want my TV blocked. So
oh, God forbid.
Yes, God forbid. So
the man who says you're being distracted.
Well, a lot of times I have good stuff on the show that's keeping me focused on. There's distractions,
if
right?
If you're out there working, then you shouldn't have.
If I want to listen to a good video,
you listen to the TV. Right. You don't watch the TV.
But then Beard might say, "And look at this," and now your curiosity's peaked, and it's like, okay, now what are you showing now? And then you got to see what he's showing, so you stop what you're doing and you look up. And if my view is blocked,
don't show anything on your videos.
I'm going to have to navigate my way around so I can see the TV. No one wants a situation where your TV is blocked.
Eyes are watering.
Rob something says, anyone else a member of your local chamber of commerce? Awesome way to network. I've been scoring product left and right from new contacts since joining in January, just throwing it out there. Interesting. No, I'm not. Jerry Johnson says, I'd like to get a few items in a new niche to list. It takes time to learn the niche, but once one is listed, it gets much easier.
Absolutely, Jerry. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you're learning about it. And once you learn them, you don't have to check it no more. You don't have to go in and you don't have to say, well, what does this one sell for? Because you've already sold it, right? You have an idea what to buy it for. Grandma Mary's Attic says it's fun to learn new niches. It can be like the military badges and stuff was kind of fun. I spent a lot of time on those because it was really interesting to me. And when I couldn't find a comp for it, like, wow, this could be really rare. And I'm looking all over the internet, and it was like, this is why I say that to be a reseller, you got to be like a private investigator. You're always researching and finding out information, and it's like just like being a private investigator. Anytime Pick a Roman, Paul Rose, buyers actually can still leave you negative feedback if you give them partial refund, and eBay won't remove it. It's just a feedback situation. Yeah, I agree with that. And oh, by the way, I will be on Romans Live tomorrow. I realize it's going to be like watching Malcolm X. It's going to be like a 3 to 4 hour ordeal. And I'm going to just have to get myself in the mindset. But I don't know if Roman might need to advise me, but is it me or is it Jenna too, or is it just me? I don't know. I had asked that. You guys. But he was talking to FedEx, one rep on the phone, and he was saying you guys. So I don't know if that means me you guys, or us you guys.
Maybe I'll just pop in and say hi.
Midwest Treasure Chest is nothing wrong with being frugal, right there with you. See?
Nothing
I'm
wrong
not the only one.
There is nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But I'm just saying he is very cheap.
Look, it's almost like a shame thing. Remember, look.
I'm not shaming you or anybody else.
But you bring back bad memories when you shame me like that, because I remember when I was a kid, and this is no lie, we could not afford the nice shoes that all the other kids are wearing. So guess what? Guess what John got to wear? Pro Wings from Payless Shoe Source.
I had to wear my share of Pro Wings as well.
And before What Are Those was a thing, I got What Are Those? And I was picked on because of that. So Tommy Bernard says, John is just doing what's right for our country. He has to be cheap so he can pay an extra 10 to 20K a year in taxes. Let him be. So how do I lower that tax bill? Anybody have
took me a little while on the banks. sometimes his jokes don't hit right away. They come to you.
Sadistics is I'm the same exact way with money, John. My partner hates it. It's frugal, not cheap. It opens up way more doors than it closes.
That is absolutely correct.
Yes.
And believe me, I do the same thing when I'm searching for my makeup and my skincare. I want it to be the best absolute deal I can get, but I am going to buy the name brand things. It's just going to be at a discount.
So Midwest Treasure Chest says, I wish I would have just half of the money we have spent on eating out for the last 30 years or so. Good grief.
Right.
And, we just went and spent like $300 at Sam's Club. Of course, you don't go in there and spend $20. You always spend money at Sam's Club. And then we're like, the next day, we're like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to get something to eat at? We got food in the damn fridge. Jeez, our freezer's packed. But it's about
half the time we don't know what's in the freezer.
Nature Made in Utah says, how long did it take to actually be able to live in your eBay business? Have to give props to the people living and paying all their monthly bills being a reseller. Well, here's the thing. We were doing it part-time.
We were thrown into it, unfortunately.
We were doing it part-time with our jobs. Or my salary, she had a 9 to 5 at the same place. Wasn't salary.
It wasn't 9 to 5.
Well, it wasn't, because she liked getting she liked saying, hey, I'm going to sign up to leave early. And they're like, okay, it's slow. You can leave. And I'm like, what are you doing? We need the money.
That is not what I meant by it wasn't 9 to 5.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't 9 to 5.
I worked 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. So I always had the jacked up shifts.
Yeah. But nonetheless, you come home early. And so we had reselling on the side to sort of supplement the income. And then one day we were given a 60-day notice, my 26-year career, saying that we're closing the office. You guys can either take a severance package and say, see ya, or you can step down from your management position, exercise your seniority, move 3,000 miles away to Philadelphia where you know but nobody, have no family, no friends, and start over. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this reselling thing full time. So what did I do? Watching some videos, and we can do this, right? Because, I mean, we're buying stuff here and there, but we decided we're going to take a road trip. We went to Marshall's and Ross, and we hit the clearance. We bought the shoes, and we got home. We were so proud of ourselves, and we got it listed, and like, this sucks. We're not making any money. And then we found liquidation, which saved our butts, because we would not be here if it wasn't for liquidation. Samantha says, frugalness is the word of the year. Is that FedEx?
Yes.
Frugaliness. Yes, frugal. There's nothing wrong with being frugal, I don't think. Tommy, actually, Roman says, Tommy told me that if I go to Delaware, we can eat at McDonald's. It'll be cheaper. Yes, you can get that dollar menu. Basket Noodle says, efficiency equals sleep less. I don't know. I mean, if you take a process that takes 10 hours, whether it's all your photos or whatever you do in a day, and you find a way to get that down to 7, well, you've now created more time to sleep or to do whatever you want. So Wolfman's Goodies, list more often. Yes, that's something I could actually do. Find ways to get more listings up. I know that my process is involved because of the type of items I'm selling, but I look back on it and I tell myself, you know what, you could have done this better. You could have at least gotten 2 or 3 more listings done. Thomas says, I can be tons more efficient. Just throw my Xbox away and I'll save 2 hours a day easy. I didn't know you were a gamer. That's interesting. Midwest Treasure Chest says, my one thing to do is what I'm currently working on, cleaning up inventory that has not yet been listed, cleaning my storage area. I know it's 2, but they had to go hand in hand. There's nothing wrong with having a clean area. In fact, I think it's demotivating if you are working in a cluttered space. And to take that time to unclutter yourself is going to, I think it's something we do every few months. We have to get out there and clean up, right? So that's the reason behind it. I technically can work in a mess, but it's so frustrating when you're stepping around boxes and stuff.
Don't even get me started on you and your mess.
Basket Noodle says, I don't mind conversationalists at all. I get many a return buyer via conversing.
Yeah. However,
I just want the, well.
No, go ahead. We don't have time to sit and have a conversation all day. And then, like the one girl, she was messaging every single day, and ended up still, didn't she return that item?
Yeah. I mean, they just have 30,000 questions. And for me, it's the one person I don't want to deal with and have that conversation is someone who bought my item. Now they want to get interested in the item. They want to start asking me all kinds of questions. It's like, you already bought it. I don't want to answer your questions. This is a conversation that should have happened before you bought it. Mm-hmm. But now maybe they're afraid someone else is going to buy it. They want the deal. And they want to snag it, throw it in their cart, and pay for it. They're walking out of Walmart and they're stopping at the greeter and they start asking, well, can you tell me more about this? That's kind of what the equivalent is. Yeah. You're walking out of Walmart and they ask you for your receipt. You're like, before I go to my car, can you tell me, does this work with what? That doesn't even make sense. But I'm going to have that conversation because, if I ignore them now, it could lead to a negative feedback and eBay will not like the fact that I'm ignoring them. Overjoyed says, what's a Vero? That is the Verified Rights Owner Program, meaning that you sell a certain brand on eBay, and that brand owner doesn't like the fact that you're selling that item. They can contact eBay and have your item taken down. That's the Verified Rights Owner. And members of Vero do not want their items listed on eBay.
That's right.
Usually it's new condition stuff. Generally, most brands don't care if you sell used. I think that's one way to kind of get yourself out of that. If you have open box or new, they might get a little, what's the word of the day? They might get a little crappy with you. That's for lack of a better term.
EBS, who I haven't seen in a long time is Ken. Where's no one designed that?
What do you scold him or what?
No, I need to know where he's been. Is he okay? Is he alive? Is he breathing?
EBS says John might have a coupon for bouncy hair. Not the crap that she buys. No.
It's not crap.
Oh.
My stuff is not crap.
Hey, honey, I need to buy some stuff for my hair. All right, well, how much are we talking? $80. What? Who does that? See, Beard, this is the kind of customer you have. She's buying this stuff for hair on eBay, and someone probably bought it for $10. I did not
buy it on eBay.
She's paying full price.
Okay, what did I say though?
Well, not on eBay, on Amazon.
If I buy this stuff, it's a bigger bottle, therefore it will last longer, and I won't have to buy it as often.
Well, I need to mark the calendar to see how often is. Overjoyed says, I never heard of Vero before. I don't have any designer stuff, but I do have collectibles. So it's probably not going to hit you at all on that.
And it's not just designer stuff. It's of course, probably name brand stuff. You won't see Veros on, the China-made version of something else.
So Joe says, frugal Franny from Florida taught me well, but sometimes frustration equals frustration. Mm-hmm. Buy new flat stack boxes in bulk instead of stockpiling used boxes. Game changer, especially if you're limited in space. Yes, mm-hmm. we buy ours and
I just restocked all of ours, and I cleaned up the shipping room because it was filled with so many boxes of new boxes that we had purchased, and now it looks great.
Not Funny says, I had a Beachbody P90X listed when I first heard Vero. eBay didn't take it down, but I did once I heard it was up at least a week. I know someone who actually bought it and sold it.
And then got a Vero.
Yeah. Christine Anderson, a buyer opened a return today and checked that the pants didn't fit. Then they attached a gory and bloody picture of a shark killing something. I guess he was upset. That's interesting. Basket Noodle says Amazon is working very hard on the China knockoffs and then some. They want set new standards versus it getting legislated. I don't know how many other venues will be able to contend with what Amazon is laying down. It's unbelievable. I know that eBay has, the whole BBE thing to crack down on the overseas sellers that A lot of them are Chinese sellers selling the cheap Chinese stuff, and they're, you know, not meeting the metrics that eBay has laid out, and they're getting rid of those sellers. So I think eBay is kind of, in a way, through BBE, kind of doing it. Maybe not in the same way. Paul Rose says, dropped all my promoted listings down to 2.1% yesterday. I've gotten them as long enough to show me higher payoffs, and the sales don't bear that out. So sorry, eBay, just enough to stay in the game now. Yeah, I got to do what you got to do. That's for sure. Midwest Treasure Chest is the question of the day for taxes is something I often ponder. Are we successful at the end of the year if we owe money on taxes or if we get money back? Always.
We don't ever get money back.
Always the latter. Always the latter.
Yeah.
That means that you're,
We never
paying
get
more
money back.
into what you owe than what you should have paid.
The only time we ever got money back is when we worked a 9 to 5.
And my thing is, this is on me, and I know better. This is something that I do, and I know I should do it differently. But to me, it's like, what's the penalty? $100 and something bucks, where I don't pay quarterly. I pay at the end. I pay when I do my taxes. Boom. I have the money. I put the money every time I get paid. I put a percentage of that in my savings. I let it accumulate, and then I pay. I know I should be paying through quarterly, but they hit you with a fee based on what you owe, like $100 and something bucks at the end of the year, and that's the way I roll. A lot of you guys don't, but for me, it's like going through the hassle of sending the money, logging in to US, IRS.gov, and playing that game. I just wait till I do my taxes. Rich Jones says, I need new armor because I live in Ohio. Carol C has a question. I saw today the app that next to my store name feedback number, there is an outline of a trophy. It is not on the PC. So what is this?
But it's on the, did you say the app?
It's on the app. Tommy says it's a new participation award. So it makes you feel better when you don't get good sales. So you can at least get the.
Wait, where
I
is
have
it
no
at?
idea. I'm just guessing at that
No,
point.
where is it at? What did she say?
It's on the app next to the store name / feedback number. Interesting.
Store name.
Yeah. You find it?
No.
Paul Rose has 2-day shipping set up, but process orders.
I must not be good because I don't have a trophy.
Yeah, you're sad now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know how to live with myself.
Yeah,
You got a special trophy and I didn't get one. Paul Rose says, I have a 2-day shipping set up, but process orders as they come in. Drop off, have collected next day latest. For safety, I'd rather under promise and over deliver. That's a good policy. Always.
Whoa, you're flying. What are you doing?
Well, we are almost at 5 o'clock and I'm
wow.
like way behind. I'm doing now what Beard is.
Beard going to be on time?
I don't know, but I'm doing now what Beard has accused me of.
Beard, are you going to be on time?
Basket Noodle says, also, if nobody is aware, 10 days ago, the USPS signed to have UPS as their main air freight carrier versus FedEx. That's interesting. Venom has a question. About to start sanitizing and cleaning some video games. I picked up to resell. Love watching you show and appreciate you always answering my questions. Should I do yard sale soon?
Yes.
Well, thank you for watching the show. We love having you guys watch. It's the thing that drives me is like, okay, are people going to want to watch this content? But yes, do yard sales to get rid of your stuff that you're really not going to list or things that accumulate. Maybe you buy like large pallets of stuff and things that you wouldn't consider listing. Get that stuff out there, sell it for $1 a piece. It adds up. You'll be surprised in a few hours of running a yard sale how much money you can make just from selling random crap.
Random crap.
Venom wants to know, when is it safe to cancel an order that a buyer still hasn't paid for after day 4 or 5? Don't know if the auto cancel is set up. Where do I find that? Should be in your business policies. I don't know exactly where. I don't have that set up. I just go in after the 4th day and just cancel due to non-payment. Let's see. I don't know what Tommy's saying there. Free somebody. Right there.
Oh, free
Joe
Karen
goes,
Reed.
Last week, I finally enrolled in international shipping, got an international sale in 24 minutes, 8 sales in 2 days, then crickets again. Speaking of, I don't know if free Karen Reed is.
Karen is she was accused of, who is that?
I don't know. What are you saying?
Karen Reed was accused of I don't want to say the word, but starts with a K, ends with an L. Her police
Taking them
husband,
out,
yeah,
whacking them.
whacking her
That don't sound right
boyfriend.
either. That don't sound right either.
Okay.
Okay.
With her vehicle in a
She
snow.
unalived him.
Yes,
Okay.
unalived.
I think, speaking of unalive, the guy that was in that river, I think he got the shaft.
You're gonna see another comment.
I think he got shafted.
I think he did.
I think he got shafted. The man just.
I think he got too much of a.
That Wisconsin
punishment.
River
Yes,
guy,
it's
that
the
the tuber.
Apple River.
Yeah, not a killer. He got railroaded, I think, because a bunch of drunk people like attacking you, right?
Yeah, but minors.
You're gonna
they were kids.
No one's checking
ID.
I'm
no. I'm not saying that, but they were young kids, and they were antagonizing this guy. And however, what got him in trouble, I believe, is the fact that he lied. He lied and blamed the kids that they're the ones that had
the knife. The knife.
Yes, the knife.
Yes. So yeah, but if you're big enough to push me down, then we've got problems. So that's my take on that. Gus K says USPS picked up my buyer package, and 2 seconds later, Scandal is being delivered to my mailbox when it was supposed to be delivered to Georgia. Got to my mailbox, and there's nothing there. Huh. Scandal. Is it the show Scandal that you sent, or what? What's it? I don't know what that is. So go to my mailbox, and there's nothing there. Sometimes they report it as being delivered a day before it's actually there.
Yeah, that happens to us all the time.
Dark Horse says, John, I hope you have your address soon. I think my Cupsid was the worst of it. I don't know what we're talking about here.
Lord help me. That's what happens when you skip comments.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 weeks. Good Lord, if I had the money, I'd have every tooth knocked out and fake teeth put in. Huh? I'm missing a lot of this.
Yeah, you are.
But you know what?
I
want to get done at a certain time. So Insight says, hello, John and Jenna. Do you think that you would have the same strong sales results if you did not have a store?
Yes.
Does the store give you a boost? Yes, I believe having a store gives the opportunity to do markdown sales and coupons. I'm big on public coupons, because someone might be in your listing, and that extra 10% off coupon could be what gets them to pull the trigger. Dark Horse says, I have a few items to list with TreeCat. I need to take up close photos on the CPU and otherwise, especially the pins. It just takes time to pull it out and take the photos. One tip I'll give you guys when you're doing your photos on eBay, even right now, if you don't have any intention on putting it over to Mercari and Poshmark, use the 1-to-1 ratio. Do not use 16:9, because when you go to move your listings over to TreeCat, with TreeCat or any cross lister for that matter, to Mercari or to Poshmark, Mercari more than any, it blows up your photo if you don't have 1-to-1. I don't know why they do that, but
are you doing this?
I have a gnat flying in my face.
Again?
I don't know. They're attracted to me.
They like you.
I guess. I must be like rotten meat or something over here. Samantha Hunter says, John and Jen, I have to go. Something came up that needs my attention. Have a great weekend. Well, thank you for being here.
Have a great weekend. We love you. Mwah.
Tommy said, did not putting inventory in your taxes help at all? Well, what's happened is it was all the entire time it was the program was already doing that. So it was keeping track of where I ended off and where it put that number from the year before's taxes in my starting, if that makes sense. It's the way they did it. So it had already calculated that for me in there. So Mike Gerda says, well, at least your Bobo shoes didn't fall apart playing basketball with the neighborhood kids. My mom was truly a cheapskate. My Bobo shoes.
Bobo.
Oh, that's funny. Tommy says, the true story, I found a dead stick pair of track shoes at Marshall's. Stock pair of track shoes at Marshall's about 3 years ago. The stupid gnat. Still have plenty of them, probably from the late 80s, early 90s, sold at Kmart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those cheap shoes you're not going to sell. Mad Hatter's Boutique says, late but made it by. All's well here. Hope it's for you. Taxes for biz and personal filed. $13,000 refund coming soon. to pay for all these baby bills we're about to have. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. They're expecting a baby. When is the baby due?
Overjoyed is a product reviewer. Most of her items are open box news. Some are just white label brands, but others are not. Heck, I never even opened the box on some of these items.
Really?
Get them listed.
How do you become a product reviewer? I would be great at that.
U.S. Sports Card says hair product sounds like a business expense for me for camera stars, right?
That's right.
Might be able to do that. We got Anthony says, hey all, thanks for being here.
All my makeup. You know, all the things.
If Debbie Shukar says, hi guys, I just have to ask, the grandbabies make your like and subscribe sign on the wall behind you? My oldest granddaughter did.
Well, she's no longer this age, that age, this age, that age.
What are you doing?
I couldn't find it with my finger. She was a little youngin. She's now, oh my God, she's going to be 13 in June.
Jim B
grow up so fast.
Jim B says, anyone familiar with VAT, when the number when shipping to UK? So someone like Paul Rose might be able to help you. VAT is the value added tax. I believe that's what it means. And it's what they like to slap on. Usually it's paid by the buyer at the time of the transaction. And then sometimes the carrier will charge them again and buyers will get mad about that. So that's what I know. Someone might know out there, though. I don't know all the information on that. Dragon Master Finds says, anyone else notice an influx of items getting to the state you're sending to and then getting stuck and not moving? It's sporadic when it happens to us.
Yeah.
Venom has a question. Do you think it's smart to name your Whatnot account the same as your eBay account in order to help build my brand, or should I not, so that folks can't find my account? Not so much your eBay account. I'd say if you have a following on social media, try to have the same name. So like for us, it's Flip It Ain't Easy on Whatnot. We've never done a show yet, but people still follow us because we have a following. But one day we might shock the world and do a maybe with all those water shoes or something like that, maybe to do one. Richard says, I agree, John. These 13 kids that were surrounding and beating him were to blame for what ultimately happened. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean,
it's just sad all the way around. It was. I have so many comments, but I won't put
just alcohol. Alcohol could have. If everyone was sober in that situation, it never would have happened. Dark Horse says, I know I don't have a ton of items, but I'll be getting more in soon, and I want to start using TreeCat. Get familiar with it. Yeah,
you get on there. It's really it has really taken my daily job duties to a whole different. I mean, I'm caught up. Like when he lists on my account, those are the items that get cross-listed. Literally, it takes a few buttons to click, and I move everything over, and it's so easy. Delist, relist is easy. When it notices the sale on one of the sites, it takes it off. All I'm really doing every day, other than doing the cross listing, is actually going in and making sure that it's doing its job and just making sure there are no hiccups. And when there are, I report it to TreeCat and they fix it, and then I'm good to go. But that hasn't happened in, I don't know, how long have we had it? Over a month? 2 months? Yeah, it's been a long time, but it's so worth it. So worth it. This new software is going to make somebody's business go from this level to, you'll have endless time to do other things.
Tommy says, Jenna, Amazon influencer, make videos on every item you own. You'll get tons of stuff. I have a friend in Australia and England that do it. Houses are full of the craziest stuff. I think I have
Amazon influencer.
I think so.
We already are an influencer on there, but as far as me doing videos on things, that's probably not going to happen.
Joby has a question. Got a neutral from someone who thinks they're a product reviewer. False info on a review. Should I reply to feedback or ask eBay to have it removed? Do both. Always try to get it removed, even though usually eBay will deny that. But eBay is, if you look at the feedback form, it's the way eBay is asking the buyer to put the review, it's almost like they're asking for a review of the product. So I'm not surprised that's the type of negative feedback or neutral feedback that you got, and then just go in and try to get it reviewed.
Yeah, it happens way too often.
Tommy does not like Ground Advantage.
Hey, wait, are we cutting into beards?
We are. We're going to get going here pretty soon, but we're almost done. Dragon Master Fine says, yeah, I've noticed it happening a lot more, and since my sales are slower, I'm noticing it more often now as well. So I'm going to cut this here because we have Mr. Scott Bearded Picker. I believe he is. I'm certain he's live. So I want you guys to go over to Bearded Picker's channel, and let's continue this conversation.
He's not
over there.
On that.
He's not live yet?
He's supposed to.
He's going to get started.
Not.
I'm sure he's waiting for us to finish.
No, he's not.
So
he doesn't wait for us.
But let's get started. Let's get over there and support his channel. I'd appreciate that. On the way out, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to tune in to the Profit Playbook Podcast. I will never get that right. Profit Playbook Podcast tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And we haven't even recorded it yet. It's going to be something we record later tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
So tune in for that. It should be pretty good. So until then,
have a great weekend.
And we'll see you guys on Friday.
We love you.
Monday.
Monday.
We'll
be here Monday.
Take care, everybody.